Hello and welcome. My name is Guild Navigator, and I wanted to introduce a new YouTube channel that I'm going to be launching, where I'm going to be creating what I would like to call old school Let's Play content. So I don't know if any of y'all were fans of like a Roomba back in the day, but I really miss that kind of content. I feel like too much of YouTube now is either like very long, 5-6 hour long videos, where I just don't necessarily have the amount of time to watch that. Or it's these like extremely edited kind of like, you can almost call them like Mr. Beast inspired kind of like storytelling narrative videos, which although I enjoy and they're very high quality, it's not always what I'm in the mood for. And I really miss like what I would call like 2014, 2015 Roomba. And what inspired this was I was watching the live stream of him playing EU5, which by the way, full disclosure, is like probably my favorite game of all time. Maybe a little bit preemptive, but I'm really enjoying it a lot. And I was watching him play EU5, and I was realizing it was annoying that he was talking to chat, and I just wish that we could get back to kind of the intimacy of these like 20-minute long odd videos, just let's playing a country with maybe a little bit of like a goal. So I'm going to be playing as Morocco with the intention of, reclaiming Iberia, doing a little bit of colonization, and just playing the game, right? Just having some fun. So I say we just jump into it. Okay, so I've played Morocco once before, and then I also played as Tunis. You are pretty strong as Morocco, and you get pretty early on. You get a special CP that will let you kind of declare war on Castile and Portugal. It gets called in almost always as an ally, and if you conquer Andalusia, which you get kind of discounts for conquering territory in this war. Then you also annex Granada, and you become Al-Andalus. So that's what I'm going to be going for right off the bat. One thing that is extremely annoying is that if you delete these fishing vessels, they basically take forever to come back, and you essentially don't have a navy anymore because you have 0 sailors. So I just need to remember not to delete that. Okay, you start out at war with Tlemcen. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not actually sure. So let's assemble our armies here in the capital. I don't need these guys here in Iberia. And I'm gonna get the game going at speed too. Yeah, might as well call Tunis into the war. First things first, let's queue some research up just while the game goes. I think that there's some pretty good stuff here at the bottom. The max RGO size is a good thing to pick up. I'm not going to be hitting up against that anytime soon, I don't think. Maybe for a couple of like the more rare resources. Our king is, I think, a Berber or African. He looks black. Let's see if we can arrange any royal marriages. Granada sounds good. I'm going to build a castle right here, because I think that this is what I did last time, and it worked out kind of incredibly. Basically, you have zone of control, so they can't get to this province, and you can just park an army here and kind of just like kill their army as they appear. You don't even necessarily need to do that. They have a tendency also of landing people in North Africa. Okay, let's get our people to work. So full disclosure, I hate tribesmen. I have like a burning passion against them. So I just want to settle them down. I no longer want any tribesmen. They're basically useless. That reminds me to set my taxes. I pretty much always just set them like that. I think we're spending a little bit too much on the Costa Court. Let's lower that down. And commensurately, let's bring this up. It's a lot of money to be spending on food. I want to try to figure that out. I don't need to be spending money on fort maintenance right now, I don't think. I'm at war, I might as well. They've all gotten there. Let's send them to start sieging. Balance my army. yeah, I'll just let this kind of, this is an easy war. So, forced slave conversion, yes, definitely. Unmarried adult heir. Can I arrange? I cannot. This isn't my crown prince. This is just one of my sons, and I have, or it is my crown prince, actually. Yeah, it's the heir. Okay, I'm gonna marry a lowborn. The prestige is totally irrelevant, but the legitimacy is annoying. Okay, cool. And then the crown power stuff. So definitely autocracy. And then I have found that feudal nobility is pretty good. Traditional economy, I think, is better than capital economy. Loyalty to subjects is always nice. And then this just means more noble taxes. So I've looked over these privileges, and they're all fine. There's a couple that you wanna change. I'll say that these dimmy, I'm just gonna get rid of them. Some of the ones that piss people off, like this one, I'm just gonna get rid of. We just don't have like enough minorities, and I don't really care. I want to be converting people to my religion anyway. So like as long and then they piss off like more powerful estates. The burghers I definitely want to be giving some privileges to, but the balance here is that I think I can get away with giving 2 of them. If you give too many right away, you're gonna really piss off your estates. So let's do that because that's gonna allow me to start printing money right up to there. You could, I think, like min-max it a little bit and try to get it so that you're having some inflation. So then when events come, you can balance it, but it's just not worth it. Okay, cool. I think that those are all the pretty big things you have to do right off the bat. I could appoint some advisors, but I think I'd rather use the money on something else for now. And then I want to get some wharfs going just because I definitely will want a navy. And I believe fishing villages also accomplish a similar task, although they're unprofitable, so there's no point. And then one thing I've noticed in previous games is that you almost always run out of lumber very quickly. So I'm gonna pop a little bit into that. Okay, Mali has declared survival. This actually gets me to do it. I'll do Mali as well. And then that's it, just the one. I guess I should have probably done one of the Iberian powers. Okay, since the marriage of our dear ruler, Sultan Abu al-Hassan, to the Hassafid prince consort, okay, Fatimid, our alliance is formed between 2 dynasties. This disregarded this alliance in 1335. The despicable Zionid Sultan of Tlemcen declared war on our Tunis ally. Okay, so we just, I guess we get some prestige because our war is a good war. We're just for fighting this war. I think I could maybe split my army in half, but like I said, I'm not in a rush with this war. It's not a difficult one. Yeah, so the plan is to eventually conquer Iberia. So while we're sitting here, I'll put a speed 4. I guess this gives me a chance to yap a little bit more about the structure that I'm thinking of doing for this. So I'm just gonna do probably pretty simple, lazy thumbnails. I may eventually have to change that up, but if I can get away with lazy stuff, I would like to. And then really, like I said, it's just gonna be like 25 minutes to maybe 30 minutes an episode, just playing the game. If there's anything with the audio or video that should be fixed, just let me know in the comments. This is the first time I'm doing anything like this. Full disclosure, I actually previously recorded an episode of the Morocco campaign. That's why I know a lot of these early moves kind of well. And then I realized I had like recorded it wrong, and I didn't pick up like any gameplay. So I had the audio, but not the gameplay. But that's how life goes. That's how life goes. Okay, I've got diplomats. I should be spending this on stuff because I'm essentially just wasting money right now. I think spy networks on these two people would be good. Could improve my relationship with Tunisia up to full. I think I'll do that. And then I'm just going to cut my diplomatic spending down substantially. Okay, missed recruiting target. That's fine. I lost like 6 people. I'll take it back. I'll appoint my cabinets. I got the money for it. And I don't know how much of a difference it actually makes, but I mean, it looks like it does make a difference. Yeah, tribesmen pops are like functionally useless, anecdotally. They don't consume or produce food, which I guess is fine, but they take up population capacity, and they functionally pay 0 taxes, right? So like I collected 0.04 taxes from them. But if you go here to the estates, you can see that there's 1.1 million tribesmen. That's more than half of my population. Yeah, I'm almost 60% tribesmen. But they pay, like, what is that, 0.01% or something like that of my revenue per month. So they're small. They're basically useless. Like, I would much rather have a serf than a tribesman. One of the goals in this campaign also, because as Morocco, I think you have some special abilities surrounding like slavery and enslavement. I have no idea how slavery in this game works. They seem to just be like laborers, but then they also can promote, and it's one of the few ways that you're able to get pops between markets. So I can't tell if they're good or bad. I mean, obviously, like morally it's bad, but from a gameplay perspective, inefficient minting. I saw a post on the EU5 subreddit talking about the bullion shortage. Someone in the comments said that it actually happened in like I believe like the 14th or 15th century, so around now, maybe a little bit later than now. And you know, like the game sort of doesn't really represent it, that most countries are able to trade gold with each other to the point that they're able to mint. You know, a lack of kind of like demand for stuff like gold and silver is maybe a problem in the game. There's always like fine tuning that can be done, but generally I love the market system. I mean, it's a little surreal, right? That like the complaints that you can be having about the game or something like it's improperly representing the relative availability of silver between Europe and China. Yeah, it's funny. This game is awesome. Like I said, I love it. Okay, so this is for the real Let's Play fans. Do any of you guys remember when Arumba, Northern Lion, and I want to say it was Mathis, but I could be misremembering, did like the Let's Play together as the 3 Spanish countries, and in Crusader Kings 2 you could play as, it was like a Galicia, Asturias, and Castile or something like that. I mean, they're all related to each other. They were brothers. And Northern Lion, I think was playing Galicia. I can't remember, but he was playing as one of the countries. He fought against like the Muslims in the south and won a war against them. And then instead of enforcing his demands, he surrendered. And his character like went to jail and he had to pay a lot of money and stuff. That was one of the that's a core memory of mine, man. Watching that Let's Play when it first came out. Unraised levies. Dude, the music mixing in this game is horrendous. Like, I can't hear the music at all. Can you guys hear it? I don't think so. I guess I could turn it up, but then, you know, you risk with the next song it being, like, horribly too loud. Okay, I'm losing money, which I don't like. It's because I'm spending so much fucking money on food. I need to build these wheat up, I guess. I don't have the money to do that. Classic chicken and egg problem. I could definitely get away with lowering that. I should probably also at some point colonize this like coastal region. Although it probably has like functionally 0 value. Fruit and fish, yeah. Not exactly going to be rolling in it. Our vassal here has gold. Cool, I can start annexing them. But they don't have any. We don't have any ourselves. I'm gonna improve relations. Actually, we have very good relations with Granada, so we can alliance with them. They're offering to join the war. Sure, Granada, come join us. Technically, we're losing this war. Okay, I should probably have not put my fort maintenance to 0. That seems like it was probably a mistake in retrospect. Okay, I've captured the dude's his capital, or at least the city that his country is named after. You know, it's probably not nice, but I'm not even that upset that Tunis is taking some damage in this war, because having them be a little bit weak is not like per se bad for me. I'm a very nice guy. Every time I play in Morocco or anywhere in North Africa, I always think of this very interesting book from, I believe, the 13th century called the Muqaddimah by a philosopher, historian, I don't know how to describe him, called Ibn Khaldun. And our character kind of represents, he's Zenati. Let's see, where are they? I imagine they're kind of in the hinterlands. Yeah, so you can see they're like here from the desert, right? And in the mountains and stuff. And so kind of Ibn Khaldun's thesis was that dynasties kind of would go through these cycles where they would, I love money. Well, I can build myself some wheat with that money. Let me do this first before I forget, and then I'll yap more about Ibn Khaldun. Hold the second one while I'm at it. Worst case, I end up having to take out a loan. I was saying though, so basically his thesis is that people live in like the desert and the hinterlands, and they build essentially what translates to like unity. It's often left untranslated as asabia, I think is the word, but it basically just means like unity. And like you build up unity in the desert, in the hinterlands, the wilderness, and kind of like hardness and strength, and then you conquer the fat, lazy people who live in the coastal cities. In this case, that would be the like Morocco or the Algerian people or the Tunisians, and then these kind of like Berber mountain people get tough and conquer them, and then they themselves get soft in the city and kind of assimilated into agrarian life, and in turn eventually get conquered by the next wave. It's a very good book. It's weird. There's a lot. It's very long, so I can't say that I've read the entire thing. I read a good chunk of the first part though. Would definitely take some money. Yeah, you guys can get a little upset. No, I'm okay. I like Tunis. There's no reason to do something crazy with them. Yeah, why am I losing so much money? Is it just, it's food. I'm spending 11 ducats a month on food. Holy shit. It's a lot of goddamn money. He has one rant, going back to Ibn Khaldun in the book, he has one rant where he's talking about how, like, only people who live in the middle of, like, in the middle territory are good, because they get the correct amount of, like, heat and sun. And, like, if you go too far north, you become, like, I don't know, weird and bad. And if you go too far south, you become stupid and black. And it was just very funny. You know, it's funny reading some guy in the 13th century who has, like, nothing to do with, you know, Enlightenment, contemporary, post, like, Renaissance Europe, and he just is his own like set of like, I guess like you could call it like North African centrism, where he's basically like North Africa is like the center of reality. The other really interesting thing that he says in the book, I'm just gonna keep losing money until I'm able to pay my I'm able to get enough food. What's going on with these new farms I built? Maybe when the war's over, my guy, I do have a whole bunch of people in my army, so maybe it'll improve once the war is done. There was another really interesting thing in the book, as he mentions, and I think about this all the time. He talks about how he's talking about ancient history, and kind of like one of the claims of his book is that he's he's institutionalizing history, kind of, and other people haven't done that in the past. And so I'm just gonna stop feeding these people. They can get their own fucking food. So basically, he makes the claim that what am I saying? He makes the claim that ancient Greece, like, we have all of their stuff because it happened to be recorded, but like how much more is there that like was lost, right? Like, so in the case of North Africa, he's talking to some extent about like Berber civilizations. Then he also talks about like Mesopotamia and stuff like that, ancient Egypt. And it is, it's just crazy to think about how much history happened that we just know nothing about. And it's both that we have a lot, we kept a lot of the Greek writings survived. It's also that they were just very verbose. They wrote a lot. They enjoyed to write. Okay, cool. I have to imagine once I win this battle, he's gonna be pretty much willing to just give me whatever I want. Because I mean, he's lost the war, right? So it's like, yeah, 104 reasons to surrender. So let's just take a big bite out of him. I definitely want the good coastal region instead of the shitty interior. Okay. That is a very clean border. I like that a lot. But alas, he is actually willing to give me even more. You give me everything. Okay, sure. And then I'm just gonna make a whole bunch of vassals out of this shit. Because that's the secret. One of the really interesting things is that you want to make as many fiefdoms as possible because your ruler is also the ruler of the said fiefdom. And the parliaments in them will sometimes have events where they'll improve your character, which means that your guy can just be passively improving. But you don't want too many fiefdoms because vassal strength is calculated per type. If I just do choose randomly, does this create... I don't know if that's... I assume that that's choosing randomly from the list. Let's see, I've got 8 people. Because I actually don't have that many people in my empire, so I don't... If I can get away with not giving them out... Yeah, okay, cool. I'm just going to keep choosing randoms then. So because vassal limit is calculated, like vassal strength is calculated per type, it very much makes sense to kind of only raise to have about 50-50 of each type, like type of vassal. Okay, we're back from war. We can lower fort maintenance. I can probably start paying for food again. It says it's free, but I don't think that that's going to last for very long. Okay, cool. Ah, I can choose another vassal, another rival. I can do Portugal. Vassals are pretty good in this game, and it's I think you can almost think of these as actually like a part of my country with just very low centralized control, right? And this kind of feeds into the way that, why are you not? Oh, because you don't like me enough. I shouldn't have stopped improving relations. That was a mistake. Let's bring this up a little bit so I can just get a diplomat sooner than later. So I'm still losing money, and it's just because of the food. Yeah, I just don't think I can pay for that. Yeah, so let's get Granada to support us, and we get this restoration of Andalusia, Casus Belli on Castile. We get it for a couple of months, or a couple of years, I think, right? 5 years, 4 years, basically. When I have a diplomat, I'll start improving on my Tafilet vassal. I could, in principle, start pushing down here. Like, I could just no CB war Ghana, come down, set some vassals up. I think I might. When I finish with the Crown of Castile, that is probably what my next move is going to be. Creating a colonial charter here is also somewhat of a priority. But I want to pay off my 100 ducats or so in debt first. Although, actually, this is a pretty good amount of debt to have, because it means that I might get the Parliament issue balanced budget, which is like the best Parliament issue. Okay, cool. So we've hit roughly about 25 minutes, and I think I'm going to wrap up episode 1 here. I think it's a pretty good place to stop it. Also going to just make sure that I was actually recording it correctly. And yeah, so if you guys were enjoying this, please let me know. Like, I don't expect this to have a huge appeal, but it's something that I personally am interested, would want to watch, so I thought I might as well try to make it myself. I'll see you guys in the next one.